segment that we are having, which is the club executive committee elections. So what is the importance of this club executive committee elections? One of the most important things is that, for example, if someone asks you, how do you give feedback? Probably that would fall into 60% of the time your communication skill and 40% of the time into your leadership skill, because leadership skill is you have to understand, you have to empathize with that person and tell something. And the remaining part is where how you communicate that. You may think good, but while you're expressing what you thought, are you expressing that the right way? So that is where a mix of communication and leadership skills, both of these things come together and go hand in hand. But what if I ask you, what will you do if someone is not taking feedback? And that is where your absolute leadership skill, how do you convince that person or show that person what's in it for you or for him or her in that particular context? So that is where we have this very important leadership aspect in our Toastmasters fraternity as well. So quickly, let us move into the elections, the executive committee elections for Agnel Toastmasters Club for the year starting from July 1st, 2022 till June 30th, 2023. Before we begin, let us check the quorum. For that, I would invite our acting secretary for today, Toastmaster Jamie. Is Jamie in the room?
No, she is not. Let me check.
Okay. So in the interest of time, presiding officer, do we have any other person who is ready to do that? Okay, sure. So while the presiding officer is checking for an acting secretary or a secretary, let us move towards the guidelines for the club elections. So the elections will be held in this order: President, Vice President Education, Vice President Membership, Vice President Public Relations, Secretary, Treasurer, and the Sergeant at Arms. Eligibility criteria to stand for a position is to be a member in good standing of Agnel Toastmasters Club as on election date, that is today and right now. Only the members in good standing of Agnel Toastmasters Club can vote as well. For each position, I will first announce the nominations received and further call for nominations from the floor. After I have called for nominations 3 times, I will declare the nominations closed for that role. And when I call for nominations, I would urge you and I would request you, if you want to stand from the floor, and if you are a member on the roster as on today, you have all the opportunity and all the right to go and contest and choose to serve your club. So please raise your hand on Zoom. I hope you all know how to use the reaction button and raise your hand on Zoom. And in case you are not able to do that, at least try to raise your hand on the screen so that our Zoom master will see you and he will observe you and let me know. So Zoom master, please make a note of that. Our Zoom master for today is Anand. We will proceed to the candidate speeches after all the nominations for all the roles have been acknowledged for that particular role. If there is only one candidate for a position, I will advise the secretary to cast the deciding ballot on behalf of the club for that particular role. If there is more than one candidate, each individual will have the opportunity to speak for 2 minutes per role. The timing will begin with the first word uttered or any non-verbal signal made to the audience. Please note that no red signal will be displayed and there will not be any 30 seconds grace period. At any point in time during the speech, except for the special scenarios of an online meeting that we'll be seeing further. You will be muted on Zoom post 2 minutes. And for that 2 minutes, I'll be timing you. I hope it is clear. If you have any questions, you can ask right now. And now let us move to the next slide, which is upon completion of speech of all the candidates for a particular role, we will then hold a secret ballot using Zoom poll. We'll also be demonstrating a sample Zoom poll so that all the members can get an idea of what it is. The winner will then be announced before proceeding to the next role voting. Note that the candidate need to get more than 50% of the votes to be declared the winner. Else, we will do another round of voting for remaining candidates after eliminating the candidate who got least percentage of votes. If any candidate has applied for multiple posts, they can participate until they win a role in the order of ranking that we saw on the first slide. Once a candidate has won the voting, any further nominations will be void. That means if a candidate has won for the role of president, that candidate cannot be a candidate for vice president education, vice president membership, and the roles that further go along. Once the candidate speaking order for each role, in case there is more than one candidate, will be sequenced in the alphabetical order. Now, these are general guidelines for online elections. In case a candidate gets dropped off during speech, he or she will get 2 minutes to join back. If a candidate has joined back before 2 minutes, then he or she will get 30 seconds grace period. That is until 2 minutes and 30 seconds of overall time before being muted. Zoom Master, once again, in case a candidate gets dropped off, when he or she is speaking, I would request you to follow up with the candidate immediately and ensure that the candidate joins back. If the candidate cannot join back in 2 minutes, then the election officer will proceed to the next speech for the role or continue with the voting if it's the last candidate. However, the candidate will still be eligible for voting. Now, this is a different scenario. In case the candidate gets dropped off just before or just calling his or her name, but before uttering the first word, then once again, he or she will get 2 minutes to join back. Now, however, since the candidate did not start speaking, here there will not be any 30 seconds of a grace period. However, they can continue with their speech. If a candidate cannot join back in 2 minutes, then the election officer will proceed to the next speech for that role or continue with the voting if it is the last candidate. Again, here, the candidate will still be eligible for voting. Now, at this point, I would like to ask once again, do we have any questions? I see that our acting secretary is back. Jamie, I request you to verify the quorum and let us know. Hello, Jamie, are you there?
Yes, confirmed.
Okay, there is quorum. Okay, thank you. Now we'll proceed with one sample poll, that is, let us do one test voting. Now, at this point, I would also like to confirm that you can see two of us are hosts on this meeting, that is the Zoom Master Anand and I. So we both are logged on with our backup devices so that we can also exercise the right to vote as the members of this club using our backup devices. So at this point, I request the Zoom Master to launch a sample poll so that the members can experience the voting.
The poll has been launched.
Thank you. As you can see now in the sample poll, each poll, if it is launched, it would last for 1 minute, that is 60 seconds. So we had 16 out of 21 voting, 17 out of 21. Okay. Now we have 19 out of 21. Okay. The other two are Anand and I. So thank you. Zoom Master, I request you to end the poll and share the results. Okay. So even with the election, the results would be shared. Now here candidates have won. So you can close this poll. I would once again request the secretary to check if all the candidates who are appearing for the positions are in the room. Zoom Master, if you could also help in that.
Yes, all are present in the meeting.
Thank you. At this point, once again, I wish to ask, are there any questions? Okay. So let us begin the election process. For the office of president, the nominations received are Arun Pandey, are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor for the position of president? Zoom Master, could you please check if there is any raise of hand on the Zoom or on the video?
There are no raise of hands.
Okay, so I now declare the nominations closed for the position of president. Since there is only one candidate for the office of president, we'll forego the secret ballot. Madam Secretary Jamie, please cast a vote on the deciding ballot in the favor of Arun Pandey for the position of president on behalf of the club and confirm. Thank you. Please congratulate our new president-elect, Toastmaster Arun Pandey. We'll now move further. For the office of Vice President Education, nominations received are Meenakshi Ranganathan. Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor for the candidate for the position of Vice President Education? Zoom Master, could you please check if there is any raise of hand on Zoom or on the video?
There are neither any raise of hands nor on the Zoom.
Since there is only one candidate for the office of Vice President Education, we will forego the secret ballot. Madam Secretary, please cast the deciding ballot in favor of Meenakshi Ranganathan for the position of Vice President Education on behalf of the club. Please congratulate our new Vice President Education, Meenakshi Ranganathan. We'll now move further. For the office of Vice President Membership, the nominations received are Libby Abraham. Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor for the position of Vice President Membership? Zoom Master, could you please check if there is any raise of hand on Zoom or on the video?
There are no raise of hands.
I declare the nominations closed for the position of Vice President Membership. Since there is only one candidate for the office of Vice President Membership, we will forego the secret ballot. Madam Secretary, please cast the deciding ballot in the favor of Libby Abraham for the position of Vice President Membership on behalf of the club. Please congratulate our new Vice President Membership elect, Libby Abraham. We'll now move further. For the office of Vice President Public Relations, nominations received are Shobit Parsar. Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor for the position of Vice President Public Relations? Zoom Master, could you please check if there is any raise of hand on Zoom or on the video?
There are no raise of hands.
Since there is only one candidate for the office of Vice President Public Relations, we'll forego the secret ballot. Madam Secretary, please cast the deciding ballot in the favor of Shobit Parasarar for the position of Vice President Public Relations on behalf of the club. Please congratulate our new Vice President Public Relations elect, Shobit Parashar. We'll now move further. For the office of Secretary, nominations received are Saish Chalke. Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor for the position of Secretary? Zoom Master, could you please check if there is any raise of hand on the Zoom or on the video?
There are no raise of hands.
Since there is only one candidate for the office of Secretary, we'll forego the secret ballot. Madam Secretary, please cast the deciding ballot in the favor of Saish Chalke for the position of secretary on behalf of the club. Please congratulate our new secretary-elect, Saish Chalke. Now we'll move further. For the office of treasurer, nominations received are Meenakshi Ranganathan. However, since she got elected for the role of Vice President Education, will not have her contesting for this position. We have one more nomination, Vinay Srivastava. So we have only one nomination for the role of treasurer, that is Vinay Srivastava. And now I would like to ask, are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor? I see Praveen raising his hand. Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor for the position of treasurer? Zoom master, could you please check if there is any raise of hand on Zoom or on the video other than Praveen?
Apart from Toastmaster Praveen, there are no other raise of hands.
Okay. Now, since we have two candidates for the position of treasurer, we'll have each candidate deliver a speech. And in the alphabetical order, yes, Vinay?
I would like to take back my nomination.
Okay.
I would like to withdraw.
Okay. So DTM Vinay would like to withdraw his nomination for the position of treasurer. So we have one candidate. And since there is only one candidate for the office of treasurer, we'll forego the secret ballot. Madam Secretary, please cast the deciding ballot in the favor of Praveen for the position of treasurer on behalf of the club. Please congratulate. Secretary, could you confirm? Okay, thank you. Please congratulate our new treasurer-elect, Toastmaster Praveen. Now we'll move further. For the office of Sergeant at Arms, the nominations received are Saish Chalke. Since Saish got elected in the earlier position, he is not going to be a contender in this position of the Sergeant at Arms. And we have one more nomination for the office of Sergeant at Arms, DTM Vinay Srivastava. Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor? Are there any further nominations from the floor for the position of Sergeant at Arms? Zoom master, could you please check if there is any raise of hand on Zoom or on the video?
There are no raise of hands.
Thank you. Since there is only one candidate for the office of Sergeant at Arms, we'll forego the secret ballot. Madam Secretary, please cast the deciding ballot in the favor of Vinay Srivastava for the position of Sergeant at Arms on behalf of the club. Please congratulate our new Sergeant at Arms elect, distinguished Toastmaster Vinay Srivastava. Thank you so much. So let me once again name the executive committee elect for the Agnel Toastmasters Club for the term starting from July 1st, 2022 till June 30th, 2023. And as I list down, I request the Zoom master to spotlight one after the other. President-elect Arun Pandey. Vice President Education-elect Meenakshi Ranganathan. Vice President Membership-elect Libby Abraham. Vice President Public Relations-elect Shobit Parashar. Secretary-elect Saish Chalke. Treasurer-elect Praveen. I'm sorry, I don't know your full name, sorry. Treasurer-elect Praveen. Sergeant at Arms-elect DTM Vinay Srivastava. Let us once again congratulate the incoming executive committee of Agnel Toastmasters Club for the term starting from July 1st, 2022 till June 30th, 2023. Now, I would like to invite the President-elect Arun Pandey to address the club for a couple of minutes.
Thank you so much, TTM Santosh. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Thank you so much for conducting the election in a fair and flawless manner. And thank you so much, everyone, for posing your faith in me and choosing me as your president. It is not easy because I'm getting into the shoe of a giant. He baited me, he lured me into this role of president. And when I look down from here, it's a dizzying height. And I would like to stay here or probably take the flag further higher. That would be my endeavor as president of this amazing club, probably the best club of District 98, where there are more than 1,600 clubs in District 98. Well, as president, I would have 4 priorities on which I would like to work upon. Number 1 is having the meeting qualities best that could be there. Second focus area would be to increase the membership of the club. And third would be to retain as many members as possible. And fourth, of course, would be adding value to the learning of members. And all these 4, if you are able to address, then probably will be the byproduct would be all the awards that we are able to achieve, probably the highest in District 98 this year. So with these words, I will not go further. I wanted to reflect upon the journey as I had in Toastmaster, where starting from the first speech where I was trembling to this day, this moment where I am probably in a month's time will be the president of the club. It's really amazing. It brings out so much from within to outside, which probably even I did not know that I had. So I would like to continue and thank you so much again, everyone. I would like to give my best in best possible manner. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the President-elect of Agnel Toastmasters Club, Arun Pandey. I think the president is already with a vision, and I'll definitely vouch that the entire executive committee elect are aligned with that vision. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone in the club for attending and making this election process a fruitful and a smooth one. And now I declare the elections for Agnel Toastmasters Club for the term starting from July 1st, 2022 and ending on June 30th, 2023 closed. With that, over to the Sergeant at Arms. Thank you.
Toastmaster Vijay, the spotlight is on you.
Am I audible?
Yes, Vijay.
Yeah. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guest. Welcome to the 276 meeting of Agnel Toastmaster Club. I am pleased to be your sergeant at arms for today's meeting. In the online meeting environment, there are a few instructions that we follow. I would like to request all Toastmaster to prefix your name as a TM and guest. Please prefix your name as a guest. All speakers are and role players. Please prefix your role to your name so it's easy to identify. I will give you 10 seconds for this activity. It's done. All speakers are requested to do a quick audio video check before starting your speech. Please do not type in the chat box when speaker is speaking as it could disturb the speaker. You can use the private chat to provide feedback. You are all requested to keep your audio on mute in case you are not speaking. Please turn off the video in case you need to do so. Do not click on share screen unless your speech role require you to do so. This meeting is being recorded. In case you have any reservation, please let us know. Let me share the mission of the club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I would like to ask our presiding officer, TM Sunish, to take this meeting further. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay. Let's give Vijay a warm round of applause. He is doing the role of Sergeant at Arms and Zoom Master for the first time. So let's applaud him. And with that, I announce the meeting number 276 open. So congratulations to the incoming team. And yes, Toastmaster Arun, I pass on the baton to you. And we all are there. We all are there to support you. Let me say that on behalf of all the members, I can already see Ashwin, Santosh smiling. So yes, that smile is our support for you guys. So we all are there under your lead for the next 1 year. Now, let me share something, a story which came to my mind. I was just sitting and going through that election process over the last 30 minutes. So it's a story about a group of frogs which was going through a jungle. And out of the group, 2 frogs fell into the pit. And other frogs surrounded the well and saw the pit. It was a very long pit. And as the 2 frogs started to try to jump and come out, the frogs around started saying that it's a too long pit and they could not jump out. They did not pay heed to their words, and the 2 frogs kept on trying. But the other frogs kept on saying that no matter how hard try, they won't be able to come out. Finally, one of the frog listened to that and stopped trying. But the other did not stop. and kept on trying and finally came out of the well. Now in life, it many times happens when we share our dreams, goals with friends, family, or sometimes acquaintances. People share their doubts about achieving them. We listen to them and don't try. But Toastmasters is one such platform where we are surrounded by friends who always believes in us, who always push us ahead and sometimes pulls up upwards from our own inhibitions. When our own mind tells we may not have that capability or competence for that goal, our peers from this Toastmaster family show that faith, belief in us and tell us, do go forward. So friends, the new XCOM team, do go forward. And I'm sure you are going to win many more accolades the coming year than what was achieved this year. So thank you all. Now I request the guests who are joining us to switch on the videos, unmute themselves as I call them upon, and let us know in a couple of sentences how they came to know about Agnel Toastmasters Club and what is that one thing they are looking from this platform. So I would request guest Pranshi to switch on the video if possible and share with us.
Hello everyone. I'm Pranshi. I'm a PhD scholar. I'm doing my PhD in science education. This is located in Mankhurd. I got to know of this from my supervisor, and he suggested it would be good for me to join because I suffer from a little bit of social anxiety, and public speaking causes a little bit of fear in me. So he suggested it would be good to join Toastmasters, and I spoke with Vidya, and she suggested I attend one of these meetings. So I'm just here to see what goes on and just try to get a better understanding of what you guys do here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Pranshi. Great to have with us. And I think somewhere or other, everyone of us is afraid of public speaking. Even if some of us may not acknowledge openly, but you are at the right place. I'm sure you will enjoy as you listen to the speakers and yourself will look ahead to come and participate. Now, I'd request guest Monty, if you can switch on the video and unmute. Monty, are you there? I think Monty is occupied for now. Zoom Master, can you help me if there are any other guests? Yeah. Hi, Monty. If you can unmute yourself. All right, I think Monty is facing technical difficulties. All right, Monty, I think you're facing some technical challenges. We would love to hear from you at the end, how you experience the meeting so that we can carry on ahead with the meeting. So do stay on till the end, and at the end, we would definitely call upon you to let us know how you found the meeting. Now for today's meeting, we have a host who needs no introduction, especially in Agnel Toastmasters Club and in general across the Toastmaster fraternity. The presidents of other clubs are trying to poach him and asking me if they can borrow this particular person as a club officer for their own club. And it has not been a Toastmaster for more than 2 years. I think probably around 1.5 years. But looking at his activism and the whole enthusiasm, I am sure most of us doubt how long he has been in the Toastmasters fraternity. and the way he's aware about the all protocols and everything. But it will surprise you to know it took a pandemic to hit the world for him to take membership, because unfortunately he claims to be lazy, but I don't agree with him. So please help me welcome with a round warm of applause the dynamic and enthusiasm Toastmaster Anand.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Louis Armstrong's soulful voice was humming away in the background as me and my partner were resting. A gentle forest breeze passing by brought along with it sweet smell of forest fragrance, arising from the sweat glands of the leaves, flowers, fruits, and the forest. This was a natural way of healing our senses as we lay down lazily on a hot summer afternoon. No, it was not a dream. This was a real life experience at Parambikulam National Park, situated in Palakkad, Kerala, which we happened to visit last month. This was our way of spending time with nature respectfully. That brings us to the theme for the day, Only One Earth. 5th of June is celebrated globally as a World Environment Day. And this year's campaign slogan is Only One Earth, with a focus on living sustainably in harmony with nature. Sit back and relax while we go through the meeting proceedings. Thank you for the warm introduction, Presiding Officer Sanish. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, it is my pleasure to serve you as a Toastmaster this evening. For the benefit of guests, I would like to explain the structure of the meeting. This meeting is divided into 3 rounds. The first is a prepared speech round, where members will be delivering speeches based on the projects and parts that they have chosen. The second part of the session is the table topics round, where members can practice thinking on their feet, thinking and speaking on their feet. This round is also known as the impromptu speech section. Guests are welcome to participate in this round as well. The third and final part is an evaluation round, in which all the prepared speeches as well as other aspects of the session will be evaluated by the general evaluator and his team. As a Toastmaster of the day, it is my duty to introduce the role bearers who will assist me in the running of today's session. To help us navigate into the meeting, help in spotlighting the speakers, we have the very crucial Toastmaster role, handled by Toastmaster Vijay. Toastmaster Vijay, in his bid to care and conserve the earth, loves planting trees. I would request Zoom Master Toastmaster Vijay to kindly unmute and spotlight yourself and explain your.
Thanks, Anand. From last 5 years, I have decided to plant 5 trees in my home in my native place. So far, more than 30 trees I planted, and I'm feeling very happy that those all trees are growing very well. That's me. Thank you.
And would you like to explain your role?
Yeah, actually my role is Zoom Master, and in my role I will, sorry, as a Zoom Master I have to take care all technical activities, like I have to spotlight all the speakers and or voting polls. So that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay. Moving on, to track the good and not so good usage of grammar, we have the grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Saish. He regularly conserves water, whether it be tap water for washing or drinking water. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Saish.
Hello, am I
Toastmaster
audible?
Saish? Yes, you are audible.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Anand. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am grammarian for the day. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any incorrect usage of grammar as well as any good usage of words, quotes, sayings, or thought. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day as well as the phrase of the day. Word of the day, fervor, meaning intense and passionate feeling. Usage in a sentence, um, although I love college football, I do not have the same fervor for the games as those fans that paint their faces with their team colors. Phrase of the day, on the ball. If someone is on the ball, they are very alert and aware of what is happening. Usage in a sentence, he was right on the ball regarding his assessment of the situation. I will give my report when called upon by a general evaluator. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Anand.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saish. Moving on, to keep track of the R's and ums during the meeting, we have the R counter of the day, Toastmaster Pradeep. He is taking this role for the very first time. He also loves to do plantations. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Pradeep.
Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, Anand, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am the R counter of the day. As the R counter of the day, I will note words and sounds that are used as crutch and fillers by the speakers. During the meeting, I will listen to the crutch words as well as the crutch words as well as sounds, and I will note down phrases repeated by the all speakers. I will give my report when called by the general evaluator. Thanking you all, and over to the Toastmaster Anand.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pradeep. Moving on, to keep track of the time spent by each speaker, please help me welcome the timer for today's meeting, Toastmaster Kalyan. Again, Toastmaster Kalyan is taking up this role for the very first time. He discourages usage of plastic in his bid to care and conserve the earth. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Kalyan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand and fellow Toastmasters. I'm taking this role as a timer of the day. I would like to start with a little bit of background why I like this. Because in my schooling days, we had a big bell. Whenever the watchman comes for the closing bell, everybody is give the keen attention. 4:15 to 4:30, that's the time school closes. We count on his footsteps, how long it's going to take, and then to reach the bell. That's how we love that. And many of you have experienced the closing bell of the school that keep the time. So that's a role when they asked me to do. I said I really love to do the show. In this session today, what I'm going to do is the speakers who are going to deliver the speeches, which is a prepared speech, and then the table topics and evaluation. As per the rules, there are each and everyone have the time allocated for the prepared speech, which is around 5 to 7 minutes, and then table topics 2 minutes is the max, and evaluation speech around 2 to 3 minutes. I'll be flipping the card, which starts from white and then moving on to green, yellow, and red. So I'll also summarize at the end of the session based on the request from the presiding officer. I'll be briefing about what are the time which each and individual speaker have taken. Adding to that, the golden rule here is it's about the 30 seconds this time. I'll try and strictly follow that. I kept my stopwatch ready. Hopefully I do the justice because I'm doing this for the first time. I'll try and do justice for myself. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All the best, tag team, and thank you, Toastmaster Kalyan. Moving on to the prepared speeches section, To evaluate the speech for the first speaker, we have Toastmaster Meenakshi. She has completely stopped using wet wipes and straws, even when she is in the city and not trekking. During her treks, she consciously collects waste in the mountains and brings it back to the base camp where they segregate it. Isn't that wonderful? I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Anand. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. My target speaker for the day is Toastmaster Akshaya, who's attempting her level 1 project 2, which is writing a speech with a purpose. So the purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose, and then to present it on a well-organized speech on any topic. Timer, please note the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day. All the best, Toastmaster Akshaya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meenakshi. Now I would like to welcome our first speaker for the day, Toastmaster Akshaya. As part of caring and conserving the earth, she has reduced her water imprint. She recycles waste and grows plants. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Akshaya.
Oh, I want.
Would you like to check your audio and video?
It's all fine. Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes. You are able to share your screen?
Yeah. Can you see my screen? It's a white blank screen for now.
Okay, it's a white blank screen. Are you able to see the Zoom Master? Can you speak? Please spotlight the timer as well. Thank you. Toastmaster Kalyan, can you please turn off the slider so that we are able to see just the timer cards?
Okay.
Maybe cover your camera with the help of a piece of paper. Perfect. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Akshaya. Toastmaster Akshaya, I wag and lick. What am I? I wag and lick. What am I? Toastmaster Akshaya.
Woof woof. I want to scratch behind my ear. Woof woof. I want a treat. I've been a good boy. I hope by now all of you have understood what the speech is going to be about. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'm going to be speaking about my favorite topic in the world, talk. So, from tall to short, skinny to roly-poly, fluffy to barely any fluff. I love all dogs. How many of you have dogs, want dogs, or even generally are a dog person like me? Please raise your hand in the comment section, or you can put it down. So, wet pink nose, hanging tongue, floppy ears, cute paws, goofy smile, and a wagging tail. Every inch of a dog is pure love. Did you know there are around 450 breeds of dogs? And if I were to list them all in this meeting, we'll be here the whole weekend. They are descended from the mighty wolf, Canis lupus. Dogs have become the most common household pets, followed by cats. In a study done in 2019, Indians have owned 220 million pet dogs, and this is expected to rise to 31 million by 2023. The ever-increasing pet care market, which is currently at $430 million, is one of the fastest growing in the world. So those of you who are wanting to switch industry, and in addition to that, wanting the best furry co-workers, this will be the best industry for you. Dogs aren't just used as family dogs, they're therapy dogs, seeing eye dogs, military dogs, police dogs, and even office and sales dogs. One of the best examples of a sales dog is Suction Prime. Suction Prime was adopted by a Hyundai dealership in Brazil in 2020. He is one of the friendliest salespeople there, and also has his own very own iCard, as you can see. And if Suction Prime cannot convince you to buy a Hyundai car from the dealership, no one can. Unfortunately, streets and belly rubs are not going to be enough to convince a good boy and the dealership to give you a car. You still have to pay cash. Their dogs' cleverness and trainable nature make them an indispensable asset to humankind. They are also, those of you who have seen the movie Hachiko, which is based on a true story, will know that the unconditional love dogs have for their owners. Uh, sorry, one second. Dogs have for their owners, and all dogs want from us is love and maybe endless treats. I mean, who doesn't? I would do anything for endless treats. I'm sure all of us would. So the top 5 breeds in India that are most common are: one, the golden retriever. This dog is the most common family dog. They are highly trainable and have an obedient nature. They derive their name. They have originated from Scotland, and the name is derived because they have very soft mouth, which was so they were used to hunt game and wild animals. Next we have is GSP or German Shepherd. They derive their name from. They have originated from Germany. They are the most wolf-like nature dogs, though they have a scary look, but they are actually the sweetest and the most obedient ones. And they are used mainly for search and rescue operations, disability assistance, and also as police and military dogs because they're so always on the ball. Next we have is the Labrador. These are the most friendliest and all-purpose dogs all around the world. They are the most hardworking dogs as well. This dog is originally was used in the North Atlantic to aid fishermen in picking up rope and fish. Today, these dogs are mainly hunters, retrievers, show dogs, and help. The next we have is the Beagle. This dog is though of small stature but has exceptional tracking and sensory skills. This dog during the quarantine was used as detection dogs to detect prohibited foodstuff in agricultural imports. They are they're highly trainable, and they are the most likely used breed in India because they are good temperament and lack of health problems. And lastly, what can I say about the pug? They are the ideal pet. Their wrinkly body, squishy face, and their short height make them the perfect breed for India. They shed very little hair, and they come in an array of colors. And they are mostly chosen in India because of their sociable and are very good companions. Now, as I'm approaching the end of my speech, let me ask you a question. When was the last time someone was so overjoyed to see you, so brimming with fervor, they literally ran to greet you? While you are doing pondering over the answer, I will take my leave following this quote by Marilyn Monroe: "Dogs never bite me, just humans." Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akshaya. To evaluate the speech for the second speaker, we have Toastmaster Arun. He likes to leave carbon footprint as low as possible. To conserve the environment and the earth, he is also involved in spreading awareness on soil degradation and adopting organic ways of agriculture instead of using fertilizers and pesticides. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Arun.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, you are clearly audible and visible.
Hello, everyone. Good evening again. And I would say you are in luck today because you are going to hear a project about podcast, how podcast is made live. That is in store for you. And we have none other than our own DTM Vinay Srivastava presenting it. He is attempting this project under level 4, project 2 of visionary communication. Timer, please note, the speech time is such that when he introduces, he will be given 2 to 3 minutes. However, when he presents the podcast, he will be allocated 5 to 10 minutes. If this exceeds, then he is violating the time guidelines. Otherwise, it's okay. The purpose of his speech, purpose of this project is for him to be introduced to the skills needed to organize and present a podcast. Also, the purpose of his speech is to introduce his podcast and to present a segment of the podcast. I'm looking forward to this project. DTM Vinay, I wish you best. Hoping this will be as grand as all other previous podcasts have been. Thank you so much. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arun. Now I would like to welcome our second speaker for the day, distinguished Toastmaster Vinay. He loves to give trees by planting them through various agencies at locations where it is needed. So instead of gifting things people don't need, he believes in planting trees in their name. And he has done that for his kids as well. Please put your hands together for distinguished Toastmaster Vinay. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight DTM Vinay. Would you like to check your audio and video?
Am I clearly audible?
Yes, you are clearly audible and visible. Are you able to see the timer cards?
Yes, I'm able to see the timer card. Is there any lag or noise in my audio, in my microphone, or is it fine?
You're getting stuck at some point.
May I change my audio device?
Now it's perfectly okay. We lost you.
This no?
This is perfect.
Hello.
This is perfect. You are able to hear us, right? Hello, we are able to hear you.
Hello.
We are able to hear you, DTM Vinay.
Hello.
Yes, we are able to hear you.
Clear. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
Sorry for the glitch. There is some problem in my laptop microphone, so I'm using some external devices. Thank you so much.
That's okay.
When I begin my speech.
So please put your hands together for this DTM Vinay. Vinay, Wincast. Wincast, Vinay.
Good evening, all my dear friends, Toastmasters, and my dear guests. Wincast. What is Wincast all about? Wincast is all about our day-to-day stories. Just the day-to-day stories and day-to-day incidents that happen in our lives. This was in my mind from quite some time, and I was thinking to convert into a podcast. Unfortunately, I was not able to find a name for my podcast. I searched and searched. And finally, what better name than Vinay's broadcast, Wincast. And that is how the name of podcast came. So for this podcast, I used a platform called Anchor. And in Anchor.fm, I created my podcast. Mainly, I use external mics like this. You must be seeing. This is a mic. This is the external mic, so which I use for the recording. Sometimes I also use these kinds of devices. This is a collar mic, so these are also used. I record via Anchor app, as you can just see here on my phone, if it is visible. Okay. That is how I use. Anchor is a wonderful app. Once you create your login, you can record in various segments. So there are segments here, you can record it. You can add music. You can add interludes. You can export music. These are all functions which are available. I have taken a premium member of Spotify. Anchor is the podcast is available on Spotify. After I created my podcast, I have put this on various social media platforms. Now my podcast is available on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Good Podcast, and of course Spotify. I get a tracking also, so I would like to share my screen to just show you how the tracking appears. Is my screen audible? Is my screen visible? Can someone unmute and tell me, is my screen?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes,
So as you can see here, this is my anchor. This is the page. This is the dashboard where you can see all-time plays 397 podcast performance. As you can see here, day-wise performance of my podcast as to how my podcast has been heard by people. If you want to see the audience, now my podcast has been mainly heard in India, but I have listeners from Jamaica, UAE, Portugal, Canada, and Vietnam. On the left hand side, you can see Spotify. People have heard, 57% of the people have heard in Spotify, 29% in Apple Podcast, Anchor, Podcast Addict, and so on and so forth. On Spotify, only 75% of the male and 25% of the female. And here you can also see the age group of the people who have listened to this podcast. I have till now recorded 19 episodes, and today I'm going to record 20th episode in front of you, which I will publish. I've already prepared a banner for this. So when I publish each episode in Anchor or in Spotify or in Good Pod, I prepare a banner along with I publish this particular thing. So I've already prepared a banner for that, and during this meeting I will add my music, edit it, and share with you before the meeting ends. You can see here the number of times my podcast has been heard, various episodes. These are some of the popular episodes, and there are some episodes these are new episodes which have been heard very less. These are the episode rankings. These are the various episodes when they are published, the date, the number, all these information is available here. Monetization feature is not available. So unfortunately, I do not make any money out of it. So that is all about the podcast. Now today, what I am going to do, as DTM Arun has specified, my podcasts are about stories. And if anybody has heard of my podcast, you must have seen that I start with a small story and then I relate it to real life, or I relate it to some kind of a motivation. I draw inspiration from my podcast, and my podcasts are from real life people, my Toastmasters friends, my families. When I go out for the walk in the morning, how a crow which is there in front of my house, in front of a tree, how he motivates me, how my father has motivated me, how my family has motivated me, how each and every person has contributed towards the growth of my podcast. So this is all about the podcast introduction. Now, with your permission, I will proceed to the second half of my speech, in which in front of you I will record a podcast. Now, one more thing is that when I do a podcast, I do not write a speech and read out of it. I prepare pointers like this, and these pointers help me to deliver my podcast. And these things are all impromptu. Sometimes I record it in 2, 3, 4, 5 segments. I've recorded minimum of 2 segments when I recorded my podcast. But today I'm going to do in a single recording. I am just trying. Wish me luck. I hope I am able to deliver justice and make some sense out of it. Okay. Now I'm going to the second part, and I'm not sure why it is still showing white only. There was a segment of 1 to 3 minutes, and after that, but I'm not sure. I will continue with my speech. Okay. Greetings. This is Vinay Srivastav. I am your host and I welcome each one of you to my podcast. Today, I'm going to narrate a story which happened a couple of days back. As I was leaving home along with my daughter had to go to her office and it was really getting late. So I immediately opened my mobile and put on the Google map. Papa, why are you putting Google map? Don't you know the way to office? Yes, beta, definitely I know the way to office. The Google map does not show the way, does not tell me the way. It tells me many more things. She was curious. Google map, many more things, how and why. And that's how our conversation started. So Google Map, my dear friends and my dear listeners, is just not a map which shows you direction. I relate it to my real life. And the way I do it is that in real life, whenever you have any goals to achieve, whenever you want to go somewhere, the first thing that you want to know or you may like to know is what is your destination? What is your goal in life? And similarly, when you have to travel from one location to another location, you have to open a Google map. And what do you do first? You first find the location. In order to find the location, you need to spell out correctly. So in real life, I should know where I want to go. I should know what is it that I want to achieve. If I don't know my goal, it would be difficult for me to achieve it. After spelling out my goal correctly, I put the location and I get various options. For example, if I put quality ice cream, then I will get various outlets of quality ice cream. So which outlet do I want to visit? And if I say in my life, if I want to achieve success, what is the meaning of success in my life? What is it that I want to achieve when I say I want to achieve success? So Google Map, I put one location and it shows me the distance and expected time of arrival. What is the distance to that place? What is the time that it would take to reach that particular place? And in real life also, when we do a project, we need to understand what is the time which we need to go or to end the project. Second thing is speed. Now, if you see when you open a Google map, it will show you various modes by car, by road, by walking, by bus. There are various speeds. At what speed do you want to go? Whatever goals you want to achieve in your life, there would be various ways to achieve them. There would be various means to achieve them. What speed do we want to take is something which we need to understand and decide. There would be one person who would like to achieve their one particular goal in say 10 days time, and any other person would like to achieve the same goal in 20 days time. The difference is the mode. If I have a car, I can do it faster. If I have a cycle, I'll be taking more time. So when you want to achieve your goal, you may want to know the resources which are at your disposal. If I do not have an understanding of my resources, I would not be able to achieve my goals. Second is, what are the various alternatives? There are various routes to achieve those goals. When we do a project and we say that yes, this is where we want to go, we know that yes, there are various alternatives. This is one route, this is second route, this is a third route. There are various routes, and all the routes may take you to the same destination, but we have our choices. Which route do we want to take in order to reach that goal, in order to reach our destination. And similarly, in Google Map also, you get various alternatives. Not only that, it also gives you the alternative of if you want to start now, or if you want to start, say, 6 o'clock in the morning. So it gives you various options. Similarly, in life also, when we want to start the goal, what is the right time to start any activity, start any goal? That is very important, because you need to understand that traffic on the road, the roadblocks. Sometimes you must have heard that this is not a right time to start the project, or this is not a right time to do a certain thing, and you should have started 10 hours earlier or 10 hours later, because you have to be aware of circumstances on the road, circumstances in our life when we want to start with anything. Roadblocks and traffic jams. Whenever we want to achieve something, there are various roadblocks. There are people, there's a traffic, there's external factor, there's an environmental factor, there are rains, there's sunshine, everything is there. We have to understand, and we cannot avoid these roadblocks, but we have to understand how, along with these roadblocks, we can achieve our destination, we can achieve our goal. Then while you are traveling, sometimes it happens that you are advised, you have taken this route, but probably you could have taken that route. And sometimes you are given an alarm that yes, there's a traffic on that area, so you can avoid this route and take another route. Does this not happen in our real life also? We are doing something, and when we get an advice from somebody senior, somebody experienced, somebody who has been there, done that, saying that, Vinay, just please try to do this, just please try to make sure that you are avoiding this particular thing, because I have been there, I know the road there is bad, so please go and please don't go in that area, just avoid that. Then sometimes it also happens that while you're trying to achieve your goal, when you are trying to go somewhere, you also want to achieve something while on way, while you are going on your way, and you want to achieve something, or you want to buy something, or you want to see something. And that's what happens in Google Map also. If you put on way search for a medical shop, it will show you all the medical shops, because if you want to go to a destination along with some medicine, along with something, you need to carry your medicine. So Google Map will show you also that. There's a companion also. These companions are nothing but our friends, families who are advising us. And similarly, in Google Map, there's a voiceover who keeps on telling you, you are on a right track, you are on a wrong track, take a U-turn, take a left turn, take a right turn. And what more can you do in Google Maps? You can help others by being a local guide. I have been contributing to Google Maps from almost 10 years, and I am at level 8 of Google Maps, with level 8 guide, local guide of Google Maps, wherein I contribute to the reviews of the places, of the locations that I go. And that's what we can do also in real life, to contribute to the people, to contribute all those who want to achieve success or who want to go to that particular destination. It also happens sometimes that we are going to some location, there are constraints, and whatever we had decided, we forgot that. There, it is a good idea to download a copy of whatever you have decided and keep that handy. Similarly, in Google Map, you can download and keep that map offline. And finally, my dear friends, when you reach the destination, you get 5 smileys in the Google Map. How was your journey? How do you define your journey? And that happens in the real life also. When we reach the destination, we try to understand how good it has been. So with this, I end my podcast. Happy hearing to each one of you. Hope you have enjoyed my today's podcast. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Vinay. Now I would request timer to present the timing taken by all the speakers And in the meantime, I would like to launch the polls for the feedback for second speaker, DTM Vinay.
So Akshaya Krishnan, her time allocated is 5 to 7 minutes. She was well within the time. She has taken 5 minutes 37 seconds. For Toastmaster Vinay Srivastava, there are two phases of timing. One is the introduction and other one is the evaluation speech. For the introduction part, I had a little technical problem, but he has taken a little ahead around 3 minutes 53 seconds. And for the evaluation part, he was well within the time. It was 10 minutes 11 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalyan. We would have just 10 more seconds to end the polls for the first feedback. The poll would, the feedback poll would close in another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. And also I would like to launch the poll for the feedback for the first speaker as well. There's a feedback slip for Toastmaster Akshaya. Please share your feedback. We have another 5 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both the speakers have spoken within their qualification time. So I would love to launch the polls for the best speaker. We have 5 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. As we move on to the next segment, I would like to continue on the theme. So in the recent times, COVID has helped us realize that we value things when we lose them, isn't it? In the recent times, we all have experienced heat wave, global warming, droughts, climate change, floods, and all kind of other disasters. And we, the citizens of this wonderful earth, has faced the wrath of nature over the years. Challenges are galore, and it is time we start focusing on the solutions. And before we jump on to finding solutions, let's move to the next segment of our meeting, the table topics round, which is all about spontaneity. To provide us with a challenge for today's table topics round, we have the table topics master who will be conducting the session today. Today's table topic master is Toastmaster Ashwin. He's a big advocate of keeping our environment and oceans clean. He likes to keep dustbins he would like to keep dustbins at every corner of the human society and create an efficient waste management system. He would like to advocate and teach people about the importance of not taking your surroundings for granted and having a conservational approach towards it. Please help me in welcoming table topic master of the day, Toastmaster Ashwin.
Am I audible, Master Anand?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Yeah. So good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster and guests. I am Ashwin, and I am the table topic master for the day. This is an impromptu speech session of a table of Toastmasters meeting. It's an interesting session which will give you a chance to Toastmasters and guests to sharpen their listening, thinking, organizing, and speech delivery skills. For table topics, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. Green card to be shown at 1 minute, yellow screen at 1.5 minutes, and red at 2 minutes. A grace period of 30 seconds is given to qualify for the vote. Speaker has to speak for a minimum of 1 minute to qualify for the voting. To use the word of the day. I encourage members and guests to volunteer for the session. Now let us begin with the session. I would request members and guests to volunteer. I'd like to start with members if they can volunteer in the beginning. Anyone? The topics are fairly easy and on the theme. Okay, Mayur. Zuma, so can you spotlight Mayur? Mayur, can you select a number between 1 to 10?
7. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Can you select a number between 1 to 10?
7.
7. Okay. Mayur, would you like to be a bird or a fish? If given a choice, would you like to be a bird or fish? Mayur.
Good evening, everyone. So I have chosen a topic is I would like to be a fish. Now, why fish? Because bird will get an worldview angle of all what is going on. So he can see, and as a human, I can also see what is there above the land. But I'm always curious, what will be below water? There are many mysteries. There would be too much of cities which have been gone underwater. There would be treasures underwater. I can also go and see some of the unheard mystery or the mysteries which are not that clear, like Titanic. So there can be remains of Titanics which I could see underwater. So this is what is fervor for me, and that's why I'm thinking to be a fish. And I can see the creatures which are not even known to anyone. So in water there are many creatures, so big creatures that we haven't seen on land itself, such as blue whale. So I am very curious to know how they live underwater. So and also I wanted to know what would be a life always being in a water. What is there underwater? I know it would be quite difficult. It would be very sometimes is not that easy to be there, but I would be happy to enjoy a life wherein I can uh, see something new which is not there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayur. We all would like to explore the world and the ocean. Going forward, anyone would like to volunteer? Libby, Toastmaster Libby. Toastmaster Libby, can you unmute and select a number between 1 to 10 other than 7?
9.
9. Toastmaster Libby, recycling should be mandatory. Recycling should be mandatory, Toastmaster Libby.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. Now you have spoken about something which is very near to my heart. So yes, I definitely agree with the statement that recycling should be mandatory. So much so that I mean, Bombay, I love Bombay. Um, but when you walk on the street, you walk anywhere on the railway stations, you are on a footpath, anywhere, even forget everything else, forget your own society, you will be walking around and you will see refuse and rubbish just spread across the place. I mean, I have seen educated people spitting pan and tobacco and spit and God knows what else across everywhere. So this has to be inculcated at the very grassroots level. This idea of recycling, this or the basic general idea of swachhata that our Prime Minister actually advocates, because cleanliness, as they say, I was taught in school, cleanliness is next to godliness. So unless people learn to be clean, we as a country are never going to get better. I think we look abroad, we look at countries like US, and we're like, oh, how are they so clean? They are clean because they've got a certain discipline. And how does that discipline come in? Simple things like keeping clean, ensuring that recycling happens, ensuring that we're using sustainable products, ensuring that we don't use products like plastic. I mean, there is a whole laundry list that can be covered when you decide that you want to become environmental friendly. So I can actually say this is a fervor of mine, that recycling should be made mandatory. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Environmental cleanness is something I look forward to. Anyone would like to go forward? Anyone like to volunteer? The guests, anyone, guest Panchi, would you like to volunteer? Any members? Okay. Sunish? Yeah. Okay, fine. So you can take a number between 1 to 10, other than 7 and 9.
1.
1. Toastmaster Sunish, a fond childhood memory with nature. A fond childhood memory with nature. Toastmaster Sunish.
I still remember when they say there is a child within each one of us. Yes, there is a child within each one of us. And unfortunately, for my parents, they are still trying to make me grow up. Right now, I'm sitting in front of laptop and speaking. And so many times my parents look from the other room wondering, this guy has not even grown up even till date. As a kid also, I was always sitting in front of the television and watching cartoon and all the serials. And always my father and mother used to try to get me out, go out, play with my friends, maybe cricket, maybe go out and play in the nature. But till they could never succeed. The fondest memory, if I have to say I have with nature, was watching Captain Planet on Cartoon Network. Yes, in that they used to say, Shakti tumhare haathon mein hai. That was, I would say, the closest I came to spend time with the nature. Always looking how you can be a superhero and save the nature. But if you ask me, did I go out and play in the rain? Did I go out and hug the trees? No, I was not like that. I was too lazy to do that. I would rather sit at home and watch people do that. Other kids do that. Because it's always fun to watch people do that. Look at it, observe how it is done. And maybe my time will come. Like they say, today, tomorrow is not over yet. I never say never. Well, you never know. Maybe in future, I would make that fond memory of going out and having that wonderful moment with the nature. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sunish. We all learned so many lessons from Captain Planet, isn't it? Okay, moving forward.
Ashwin, you're on mute.
Anyone else would like to volunteer?
Yeah, I can go, Meenakshi.
Okay. Meenakshi, a number between 1 to 10, other than 1, 7, and 9.
Sorry, couldn't hear you.
Can you select a number between 1 to 10, other than 1, 7, and 9?
5.
Toastmaster Meenakshi, if I could be transported to anywhere on earth, where would it be? If I could be transported to anywhere on earth, where would it be? Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Thank you so much, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Ashwin, for this topic, which is very close to my heart. And I'm sure a lot of members here at Agnel Toastmasters already know that I'm a trekker by heart and soul. So if any place where I would want to be transported is in the mountains, anywhere in the mountains, I do not have any specific, like this has to be Uttarakhand mountain or a Himachal mountain or for a Swiss mountain for that matter. Let's aim big. But yes, a mountain is a place that teaches us a lot of things. And for me, per se, I like Toastmaster Sanish also mentioned that when I was young, I did not do a lot of outdoor activities. His reason was different. My reason was different. I was kind of a geek. I was in between books the whole time. But once I turned 21, I realized that I have spent half of my life in books. So I wanted to spend the remaining in outdoors. So I did everything, whatever opportunity I got. And I take up trekking as much as possible, not just Himalayan trekking, but even in and around Maharashtra over the weekends. So I try to do trekking like twice a year, go to Himalayan treks. So mountains is where I would want to be, is because I have learned a lot of things about outdoors through the mountains. Basic qualities like humility, that is you can be arrogant over here in the city, but in the mountains there's nobody going to help you. You have to be yourself. You have to show your own fitness. Another learning is that obviously you have to be fit over there, but it is okay that you have done 10 treks before this, but it is so possible that even on the 11th trek you could fall sick or you could have a mountain sickness. So humility is the most important quality that I have learned through the mountains, and that's where I would rather be. Thank you, and over to you, Table Topic Master.
I think there is a network issue.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Ashwin, you're audible now.
Yeah, I have some internet issue. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Meenakshi. Moving forward, anyone else would like to volunteer?
Yes, I would like to volunteer.
Hello.
Yeah, Ashwin, you're audible now.
Yeah. Can you select the number between 1 to 10 other than 1, 5, 7, and
Number
9?
3.
Number 3. Toastmaster Shobit, if plants could speak, Toastmaster Shobit.
If plant could speak, I think there was a research done. I don't remember the name of the scientist. In the early 90s, research was done that indicates that the plants do speak. But there's a different way of communication. People used to communicate with each other in a verbal and a non-verbal manner where we can understand each other. But a plant has a different way of speaking with each other. And the study which was done shows that when a gardener came near to the plant, then the frequency of the plant changes, the vibration the plants are communicating with each other changes. And when someone other came to near to the garden, the frequency of the plant changes. So I think plants used to communicate, and the communication between you and the plants can happen, as I believe. Even there was one research I remember, it was done where the two plants were put in a two plants were put, and different people came and they were instructed either they need to give some positive thing to the plant, say some positive things, and the other group was said they need to say some negative things to the plant. And the research was done to see the growth of both the plants. And after so much of time, after many people came and they were divided into group, and the result of the research shows that the plant which was received good things like wishes from the people grows faster, and the plant which received bad things from the people grows not that much as compared to the previous plant. So I think plants do communicate, but the thing is that you should know how you need to communicate with the plant. Thank you, and over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shobit. Moving forward, anyone else would like to volunteer? Members, guests, anyone? Role players can also volunteer. Toastmaster Arvind.
Ashwin Kalyan Kumar here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Kalyan Kumar, can you select a number between 1 to 10 other than 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9?
Let me go with 2.
2. Toastmaster Kalyan Kumar, the most beautiful place you have ever seen. The most beautiful place you have ever seen. Toastmaster Kalyan Kumar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. It's a very close to heart topic for everyone. And then by hearing this topic, everyone would have imagined how would I have approached this entire sin. There are quite a lot of places which is very close to my heart, very beautiful at that point of time. Either in the mountain, or in the forest, or very much in the city, or within the home. What makes things beautiful is your mental setup at that point of time. Some of the waterfalls which I have visited, which is very deep into the forest, I never tasted such a kind of pure water anywhere, anytime in my life. And I don't think so whether I can able to go there again for that. Is it so beautiful? The answer is yes, the experience is good. Isn't the Los Angeles enjoying the beauty, driving around there, exchanging notes with a lot of people there? Is it so beautiful? Yes, it is. That experience is really great. Or I have wondered when I visited Las Vegas first time, the power of imagination of the human beings. If somebody wants to create Venice in Las Vegas, which is a very desert, which made possible, is it beautiful? Yes, it is very much beautiful. But out of all, what makes sense to me is living at my home, within my people. Try and enjoy that moment. Is the most beautiful experience that anything out of the world which I have seen in personal experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalyan. We can take one more, one last. Then you like to volunteer. You can just message in the chat box. Yeah. The topics are pretty easy. You can. One last. Toastmaster Arun. Okay, Costa. Costa, would you like to volunteer? Costa is not available. Toastmaster Anand?
I guess in the interest of time, let's move on.
Yeah. You can continue, Toastmaster Anand.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. Thank you, speakers, for thinking on your feet. And now I would request timer Toastmaster Kalyan to present the timing taken by all the table topic speakers.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. I'll go in the sequence. Toastmaster Mayur Patil has taken 1 minute 31 seconds. Toastmaster Libby Abraham taken 1 minute 52 seconds. Toastmaster Sunish has taken 1 minute 43 seconds. Toastmaster Meenakshi taken 1 minute 47 seconds. Toastmaster Shobit taken 1 minute 41 seconds. Toastmaster Kalyan taken 1 minute 57 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalyan. So that means all are qualified. I would now launch the polls for the best table topic speaker. We have another 5 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. The next part of our meeting is an important round of a Toastmasters meeting. And in this round, constructive feedback is given to each speaker as well as to the overall meeting conduct so that members can benefit from the experience of evaluators and become better speakers. For this, we have the general evaluator to conduct the session. And today's general evaluator is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Santosh. He is slowly transitioning to becoming a minimalist. This helps him use lesser and lesser resources. Please help me in welcoming the general evaluator for the distinguished.
Thank you, Anand. I think we lost him. We
Toastmaster
lost his
Santosh.
network there. Yeah. Thank you, Anand. So welcome to this general evaluation round, friends. In this, we have 3 segments. Segment 1, wherein we'll be having evaluation for the individual speeches and not the speakers. And then the segment 2, wherein we'll have the report from the timer, accountant, and the grammarian. And then segment 3, where I'll be presenting my report of the entire meeting. So let us move to the segment 1. And before that, I would like to declare the timing guidelines for this segment. Each evaluation is going to be from 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, the green card will be displayed and will remain displayed until 2 minutes and 30 seconds. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, yellow card will be displayed and will remain displayed until 3 minutes. And at 3 minutes, red card will be displayed and will remain displayed until the evaluator concludes his or her evaluation. With that, let us quickly move. I'd like to invite the evaluator 1, who is going to evaluate the speech of Akshaya. Meenakshi, over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Santosh. Good evening once again, everyone, and a very special good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Akshaya. When a dog loves a man, he's a good man. But when a man loves a dog, he is a good man. This is the quote from the famous OTT show Patal Lok. And this is what I remembered when I heard your speech. Before even hearing your speech, when we all went through the agenda and we got the title of your speech, I wag and I lick, what am I? I mean, what a title. We all guessed the answer, obviously, in 1 second. But it was such an amazing way to connect with the audience, the kind of title resonance that you had from the very go. So before you even came onto the stage, you had an impact on the audience. So congratulations on that. Your start was amazing. where you had a kind of a tiny couplets of poems about a dog, and you also shared some fun facts about the breeds of dogs, and there are more than 450 breeds of dogs, and 20 million to 31 million pets will be there in India by 2023. You also gave us title references, movie references of Hachiko. You showed us the top five dogs, the top five breed of dogs, and also you showed us very cute pictures of those dogs. I mean, we were all sitting there and drooling over those cute pictures. So it was like a plain vanilla ice cream and topped on that with the chocolate sauce. So those were like those tiny sizzles of chocolate sauce on a plain vanilla speech. The main objective of this speech was that the speech should have a purpose. So the purpose that you shared with me was that to share knowledge of dogs in a very fun way, and kudos to you for that, because you did it, and I'm sure that we all had our share of fun when we were listening to your speech, and we also got a good share of knowledge about dogs. So I do have a certain some kind of recommendations to you, with both regarding the content as well as the delivery of your speech. So with regard to content, your timing taken was 5 minutes 37 seconds, which I felt that you could have spoken slightly more, because it was only till the green card that you spoke. And what is it that I wanted you to speak more is that probably you could have had a call to action. So now I know that you mentioned there was a conclusion in your speech that there is no other animal as loving and that gives you unconditional love like a dog. But you could have asked the audience a question like, what is it that the audience should take away from your speech? That is something I would want to recommend to you in your speech. And next, coming to the delivery, I would suggest you to have a laptop placement in such a way that your eyes meet the camera, because as of now, it felt that you were looking down on the camera. So maybe, probably you could keep some books to just raise the level of camera. All in all, a great speech. We could see your fervor for dogs in it. But if you take up my recommendations, I'm sure you will join the bandwagon of great speakers. Thank you, and over to you, General Valuator.
Oh, thank you so much, Meenakshi, for such a succinct and a very clear evaluation to the point evaluation. Now we'll move to the second evaluator, Arun, who is going to evaluate the speech delivered by Vinay. Over to you.
Thank you, Santosh. Can you hear me properly? Thank you, and good evening, everyone, again. And very good evening, Toastmaster Vinay. I was awestruck, spellbound, when you started the second part of your speech, second part of your project, where you started delivering the podcast. It was, I think, first instance of my life where I was seeing somebody delivering live podcast. Otherwise, I have listened thousands recorded ones. So it's an experience. I aspire to be a podcaster someday. So I was in ecstasy, listening and enjoying that you are doing. You went about your business like an artist, like a painter. You came up, opened your instrument, started setting up the shop, and then you started going about your business so skillfully. It was like exhibition of utmost competence to me. However, when you give someone something, the greed increases, and that's where my feedback to you starts. I was looking forward to understand more about the nuances of podcast and less about listening to a perfect podcast. So I wanted to understand how many types of podcasters there. That is number one. I didn't know. It was, I think, a solo podcast. Then you have people in audience and you talk to them and then record. I have limited knowledge, but then I would like to learn more about it. Then what are the challenges that you faced in creating the podcast? If you could just throw some light upon it in the first part of your project. Why did you choose Anchor app? Why not any other app? Are they not available? Are they not better? What is good about Anchor? What is not so good about others and all? Only one feedback on the second part of your podcast. And I take advantage of listening to the first podcast ever that you took out. And it was in such a calming voice. Those who have listened to it could relate. and this time you are more of natural selves. So why what is it that one should choose? Is it more mechanized? Why you don't practice? Why do you make points and just so because it was a perfect speech and you are very comfortable, but some beginner like me could make mistake during the live podcast or during the recording also, then they will go multi-time recording it. So all those things I wanted to learn. I'm maybe putting too much on you in terms of feedback, but these are my genuine curiosity in order to understand when I want to deliver a podcast myself. Sorry, I have not added too much of praise, which you are worthy of, because I wanted to sandwich all my feedback to you so that I can learn, understand, and hope audience would also have similar questions on this project. So thank you so much for sharing this knowledge of yours, this skill of yours with us, and look forward to many more projects similar to this. Thank you, and over to GE of the day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Arun. I think I really love the way in which you try to focus more on the improvement points, because that is what advanced speakers would like to know and would like to learn. Thank you so much for that. Now, with that, I would like to request the timer to present the timing report for the evaluations.
Thank you, sir. Toastmaster Santosh. The evaluators, Toastmaster Meenakshi she has taken 3 minutes 16 seconds, and Toastmaster Arun has taken 3 minutes 10 seconds. Both qualified.
Thank you, Kalyan Kumar. Kalyan Kumar. Now, with that, I'll ask the R counter Pradeep to give the R counter report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Santosh. Today we are heard many good speeches, okay, and all participants given very informative details. Okay, though I summarize the counter reports for the day. Vijay Shetty, he has so one time, was 2 times, are 2 times, Sunish are 1 time, guest Pranshi are 2 times, I 2 times, Sanish pause 1 time, are 1 time, Toastmaster Pradeep pause 2 times, are 4 times, Toastmaster Meenakshi are 6 times, Toastmaster Akshaya so 2 times, are 8 times, pause 1 time and 1 time, Toastmaster Vinay are 2 times, Toastmaster Ashwin are 1 time, Toastmaster Mayur so 4 times and 1 time are 2 times, Toastmaster Libby or 2 times are 1 time. Okay, thank you very much. Or
Thank you so much, Saish. Now I'd like to request the grammarian for the meeting, who is, sorry, thank you so much, Pradeep. Now I'd like to request the grammarian for the meeting, Saish, to give the report.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Saish.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I took up the grammarian role with a fervor that the speakers will use it during their speeches. I'm so dead Toastmaster Libby and Toastmaster Meenakshi. I was on the ball as I was listening to all speakers and writing their grammatical usage, good and bad. Well, some words used by speakers are descended, indispensable, brimming, interludes, galore, drooling, succinct, spellbound, nuances. And the phrases some used were dogs never bite me, just humans. Never say never. Some suggestions that I would like to add are, rather than saying very highly trainable or trained, you can directly say highly trained. Someone came, rather than saying this, someone came. It grows. That's all for as a grammarian. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Saish. Now I will move on to the overall evaluation of the meeting. First of all, congratulations on completing a successful meeting. And today we had some elections going on, and because of which we are stretching a bit, and that has been well informed which is a good thing to do. And then the presiding officer has started the meeting on a very encouraging note, and he has concluded in a very good note. And then the sergeant at arms has also opened the meeting by reading all the rules and everything. And a very special appreciation to Vijay for taking Zoom master as well as the sergeant at arms. Very well done there. And then coming to the Toastmaster of the day, the theme is very apt considering that tomorrow is the World Environment Day. Fantastic theme that has been taken. The prepared speeches were flowered with a very good creativity today, and that actually speaks about the quality of the club. And I would say not those awards, but the quality of speeches, the quality of the evaluations are those things that speak up for the club that we are in. And then the table topics master, again, a fantastic job in picking up people and then doing things. If I have to give one recommendation for the table topics master, it would be that you could have taken the timing report and also help launch the poll as well. And when I speak about the poll, I would request the Zoom master to be ready with the poll for the evaluators. And coming to the timer counter grammarian, I would say that was a fantastic job done there. For the timer, I would request, I would have felt better if you could have come on the screen when you were giving the report, and then when you went off the screen when you're actually not giving the report. That would have helped us get some personal touch, because we could see your face then. And the evaluations again were filled with very good praise and critical acclamation, as we have seen. Overall, the meeting has been a fantastic ride today, and I have absolutely enjoyed each and every part of the meeting. And the attendance as was good. The guests were received well. Everything in place. A very good show. All the best. And with that, I'd like to request the Zoom master to launch the poll for the evaluators, best evaluator. Okay. I guess there is some issue with launching the poll. Okay, the poll is here, sorry. So now we can vote for the best evaluators. Thank you. As you're voting, I'd like to give the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day, Anand.
Thank you, General Evaluator Santosh. While we take the polls, I guess we just have 5 more seconds. I'll do the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, everyone. Wasn't it delightful to hear all the speakers speak with fervor? Similarly, we all need to play our part in conserving the nature. While Elon Musk may plan for that no-return journey to Mars, let us all cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we have known ever, our only Earth. Now, what gets measured gets managed and executed. Let's start by knowing how much is our carbon footprint, and then do every bit to save and contribute towards a greener planet. I put on the chat box a link where you yourself individually calculate your footprint and then understand where we are and what measures do we take for ourselves for a greener planet. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it has been a pleasure serving as your Toastmaster this evening, and I hope you have enjoyed the meeting. On that note, a big thanks to all of you for being here today and making this meeting a success. It's time for the awards now, and I would like to hand over the session to our presiding officer, Sanish. Now, Sanish, he likes to carry water with him to avoid purchase of bottled water as much as possible. Isn't that again a wonderful, small, implemental step that we can do in our daily lives? A big kudos to him. Over to you, Toastmaster Sanish.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Anand. Let's give him a warm round of applause. And I'd request everyone to switch on your video. Let's take a group snap as well. Yeah, I see a couple of members smiling. So let's have a group pick. Yes, Pranshi, Kaustubh, Akshaya, Vidya, MS. Yes, Abhay is outside, but quickly the videos are on. I think, yep, Abhay, mentee of Vidya. So MS and Vidya, if possible, last 30 seconds. Yes, I need to know the full form of MS. Vinay.
Madhuri Srivastav. Wife's account. I logged in by mistake.
I'd request Zoom Master to take a snapshot. So everyone, 3, 2, 1. Vidya is on video. All right. I hope we have got the pick. Yes. Thanks, Anand. So I heard the general evaluator speaking about the awards, and so did Toastmaster of the day. Let me thank the fellow club officers of Agnel Toastmasters. Right now, is it coming? No. Yep, I think it's coming. Yes, this is a Power Up XCOM award. I just received it today on accepting on behalf of all the club officers of Agnel. So thanks Anand, Arun, Vidya, Vinay, Praveen. So guys, so 2 trainings happened during the year, the club officers training, and all the 7 officers from our club attended those, and it contributed to 1 DCP point. So that's 1 DCP contributed because all the club officers took out the time twice a year for attending and received that. So yes, the awards are still coming in. Still the term is not over. And I'm sure before the term is over, we may still get 1 or 2. And I already see Anand and Vidya smiling. I'd request the Zoom Master to let me know once the awards certificates are done for the best.
We need to launch the polls for the best role player and the best supporting role player.
Best. I request the Zoom Master to launch the poll. I'd request everyone to quickly select last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we have the next poll? So 5 seconds for choosing the best role player. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'd request the Zoom Master to just prompt me once the certificates are ready. In the meantime, one announcement, we will be having a joint meeting on 11th of June. We will be posting the details, further details as before the date, but it will be joint meeting. I would now request a couple of guests who have joined in between to share how the experience have been. I would request Mayur.
Hello.
Yeah, if you could share with us how you found the meeting experience and how you came to know about the Agnel Club.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So this is my I was also present for the last meeting, wherein we were all there in the club with in a physical presence. So I enjoyed that meeting as well. And today also it was a wonderful meeting. It was my first time taking a tabletop topic, and that helped me to gain some confidence. Previously, when I was in my school times and college, I used to participate in extempore competitions. So this relieved my that old memories when I used to do that. So and I'm looking forward to attending more meetings like this and being part of this Toastmasters club and enjoy all the meetings. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayur. Great to have you with us. And again, it was an amazing attempt. The way you spoke, you look like a seasoned speaker. Now I would request guest Kaustubh if he can share with us how he found the meeting. Kaustubh, are you there? All right, I think Kaustubh is occupied. Pranshi, would you like to share with us how you found the experience of attending, and do you promise to attempt the table topic the next meeting?
I'll definitely try. And yeah, it was really lovely hearing everybody sort of cross those barriers, and all of the season, everybody sounded like a seasoned speaker. And it's a wonderful effort that everybody is making on their own individual parts. And yeah, I would love to join again.
Great to have you, Pranshi. Public speaking is like swimming. We don't learn by only observing or reading books. Do participate next time. Do participate in the table topic. So do hope to see you the next time and do participate.
Thank you, Shah.
Hi, Kaustubh. Yes, would you like to share with us how you came to know and how you found the meeting?
Actually, I heard this meeting from my relative that the Toastmaster is the best meeting that we can learn English. Then we can learn and we can improve our English speaking.
Thank you, Kaustubh. Yes, this is one of the platform where we get to listen and hear best of the speakers and improve our own English as well as communication. Yes, I see a grammarian in you. The moment you join the club, we are getting you to get the role of grammarian. It's one of the best ways to improve English, by taking the role of grammarian. And I already see a couple of smiles, the people who have taken the role of grammarian and have improved their English. Now I would request the Zoom master to share the certificates. And the best speaker goes to distinguished Toastmaster Vinay. I'd request Zoom Master to spotlight Vinay. Vinay, amazing speech. I am also, as Arun mentioned, looking forward how probably I can also create a podcast. You are an inspiration for all of us. Congratulations.
Thank you, Finish. So kind of you.
Can we have the next certificate? The best, okay. Best table topic speech goes to me. Thank you everyone. Can we have the next? The best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Thank you.
I request the Zoom master to spotlight Toastmaster Meenakshi. Congratulations, Toastmaster Meenakshi. And the best role player goes to Toastmaster Anand. I think he had our attention as soon as he sung at the beginning, and those who missed late missed that. Congratulations, Anand.
Thank you.
The best role player, supporting role player goes to Toastmaster Saish. Can we spotlight Toastmaster Saish? Yes. Congratulations, Saish.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you all for joining in. And with that, I announce close of today's meeting. So yes, I hand over to the networking chair, distinguished Toastmaster, and the winner at 3 different levels of District 98 contest.
Stop the recording. That is the prerequisite for starting networking.